Today I was at work and I was thinking of something in the middle of work and I just thought I may want to talk about it right now. A thought crossed my mind on why people may hate you for saying something, why people sometimes may think you're being objective when you talk about a point, why people hate it when you dislike something. Like, say, you dislike something that they like, right? And so, like, there's a huge kind of reaction a lot of people get when you dislike something, and then you go about why you dislike it and all that. And I just thought of why that is. And this is a very different video that it doesn't really focus on anything besides this one point on why people hate it when you dislike something. I just simply came to the conclusion, like, at the way home, like when I was done with work, and then I got back here and I played some God of War 1, and now I'm recording this. This is just gonna be a bit of a rant for a couple of minutes. Essentially, what I came up with, like the conclusion I came up with, why people think you're being objective, why people say, stop saying this as if it's the objective fact. This is not an objective thing. This is subjective. Then you tell them, okay, this is just my opinion. Then they're still mad. They defend something else. They get to something else. Essentially, what it is that you bring a point, right? Like you bring something you dislike in a video game, right? Like, let's say I dislike a design choice in combat. Say I dislike cooldowns, for examples. And if I get into intricate detail about why I dislike the cooldown, what it affects, what it kind of is problematic about the cooldowns and this specific game right here and all that, these people listen to that, and the more they hear you go about your point, the more they hear you explain your stance, the more they hear you, like, you go into these far lengths of going into details, and this affects this because the combat is designed around that, and then it gets messed up when you don't do that, and then it's like that, and so basically you make this point about something you dislike in a game. Then you explain it so, I want to say beautifully. You explain it with so much depth, right? Like, the key word here is depth. You get into actual depth talk regarding what you dislike in a piece of media or something, like even in a movie. Like, I just wanted to get this video out just to talk about this, because I've got it a lot. I've got these types of comments a lot on a lot of the things that I talk about. Like, I'm over here maybe explaining something I dislike in whatever game. I'm not gonna name any games right now, just so that this video doesn't become targeted as a lot of people think. But like, I've noticed it where I dislike something. I go over like a whole minute or to 2 minutes of me explaining why I dislike the thing, and I give actual reasons, like actual believable reasons on why I dislike X, for example. And some people are like, why are you talking like this is objective? Everyone thinks about it. Why are you being objective? Which, at the end of the day, I am being subjective. But like, the more I explain my point, the more I dive into it, even if it's for like a minute or a solid 30 seconds, something I dislike, I go into details on why I dislike it. And some people think I'm being objective. This goes on for everything. I've noticed this as a pattern as well, in other channels and other people who talk about games and all that. It's a pattern. People truly think you're being objective, or you're saying this thing is objectively bad, because you bring up such nice arguments that back up your claim, whatever the claim is. Sometimes some people try to be smartasses, and they talk like smartasses, and they think they're saying something smart, but they're just talking. So I'm not talking about these types of people, but I'm talking about other people, those who bring up arguments that back up their claim about something they hate. These people, when they get that sort of reaction, I kind of understand it, because I've gotten it a lot of times. I've disliked stuff about some games. I dislike them very much. I went into detail on why I dislike them. I went into detail on how they can still remain in a game, but just add an option for me to skip it or whatever. And people would still, like, when they realize I'm just being subjective, by that point they get defensive, rather than just, yo, you're being objective. No, they get, like, for example, you critique something that objectively I would say wouldn't hurt anyone if they added a skip button, and they're like, attention span much? And I don't want to diverge too much from the main point of this video, but that's not a bad attention span that I have if I don't want to play a section that is not good for replayability. But like, anyways, I just wanted to get this short rant out of the way. Why people dislike it, why people hate it when you dislike something in a video game. It could be for any other thing, but I'm more passionate about talking about my video games and all that, but it is what it is, man. Thank you very much for watching this video. Peace.